My name's Niall. I'm an IT consultant actually working remotely in Melbourne, but living in northern New South Wales. And this is?
I'm Rachel. I'm a doctor. I'm currently a GP registrar. I'm completing my last few months of general practice training up in northern New South Wales with Niall up here.
We live in probably one of the most beautiful parts of Australia up this way, so a lot of it involves getting outdoors. We like kayaking, going for walks around the area, a lot of fishing, and catching up with friends in the evening. And we're both quite involved in our local church as well. So.
We both play musical instruments, so play our instruments a fair bit, and just enjoy being outside in this very, very beautiful part of the world. I'm completing my final stages of medical training, so that will mean I'm a finally qualified general GP. We are planning to move back to the UK in about 3 months, which is fairly stressful. Trying to sell up all our stuff and relocate our lives to the other side of the world. That's where my family are all living, so that will be fairly significant. I'm also pregnant, so that's another extra thing to add into the mix. So I guess those are some of our challenges at the moment.
Yeah, and I think that both being from different countries and having different homelands means that there's that uncertainty in the future about where you might be living. So we've got a lot of affection for both Australia and the UK and ties in both countries. And so I guess looking forward to a financial perspective, it means that we have to think about options that give us that flexibility.
Within the short term, obviously, like the next 5 years are probably going to be fairly heavily invested in having small children, and that's fairly busy and hectic. Hopefully at some point we'll be buying a house. Whether or not we live in it is we don't really know yet, but we'd like to have a house somewhere in the world. Will be nice. I guess in the longer term, we have talked fairly seriously about working in a developing country.
We knew we were starting to build up some capital because, we're both fortunate to work in, sort of professions that do remunerate quite well. And so we wanted to make sure we were being responsible because it was just sitting in a bank, not earning a particularly large amount of interest. And we wanted to be responsible with what we had, so that in the future, when we wanted to undertake some of these other activities, that we weren't constrained by resources, and that, I guess in a sense, you could almost buy time. Because if you don't waste money, then you can afford to take time off or non-paid work at some point in the future as well.
The other thing for us is we don't have the time or the knowledge to make sort of sound financial decisions on our own. So we recognise that we work hard at our own jobs, and we need to use other professionals to enable us to make sort of decisions that we obviously couldn't make sensibly on our own. So it made a lot of sense to employ someone else to make decisions which we knew that we didn't have the time or the knowledge base to be able to make on our own.
And if you throw into that mix dealing with two countries and currencies, and it just becomes more than an individual can deal with.
Yeah.
I think.